you know, go down. This is a picture of Carpenter drumming on stage, early 1970s. Wow, that's how beautiful does she look, mate. So this is a career. Carpenter's first band was 2+2, an all-girl trio formed with friends from Downey High. They split up after she suggested that her brother Richard join the group. In 1965, Karen Richard and his college friend Wes Jacob, a bassist and tuba player, formed the Richard Carpenter Trio. The band rehearsed daily, played jazz in nightclubs, and also appeared on the TV talent show You All American College Show. Richard was immediately impressed with his sister's musical talent, saying that she would speedily maneuver the sticks as if on some numbers. Was it as if she had been born in the drum factory? She did not sing at this point. Instead, singer Margaret Shannon guested on some numbers. The trio signed a contract with RCA Records and recorded 2 instrumental, but they were not released.
Wow.
Instrumentals. So they recorded 2 instrumentals, but they weren't released.
For some reason.
Don't know why. In April 1966, the Carpenters were invited to audition at a session with bassist Joe Osborne, well known for being part of a studio musician collective, the Wrecking Crew. Though she initially expected to just be the drummer, Karen tried singing and impressed everyone there with a distinctive voice. Osborne signed a recording contract with her for his label, Magic Lamp Records. He was not particularly interested in Richard's involvement. Wow, so he didn't want Richard or anything.
Only just there.
He just wanted Karen because her voice just worked.
And you know what?
Just
you know what was nice of her? Look, she wants their brother in the band, and she sacked the other person off. That's amazing, lad. She had so much love for him.
Family, mate.
Yeah.
In 1967, Jacob left the trio to study at the Julie Lillard School, and the Carpenters' siblings were keen to try out other musical styles, along with other musicians, including Gary Sims and John Bettis. The siblings formed the group Spectrum, which focused on a harmonious vocal sound and recorded many demo tapes in Osborne's garage studio, working out how to overdub voices out to a multi-track tape. Many of those tapes were rejected by record companies. The group had difficulty attracting a live following, as their sound was too dissimilar from the hard rock and psychedelic rock popular in the clubs. A&M Records finally signed the Carpenters to a recording contract in 1969. Karen started out as both the group drummer and co-lead singer, as she originally sang all of her vocals from behind the drum set. She sang most of the songs on the band's first album, often later retitled Ticket to Ride. Her brother wrote 10 of the album's 13 songs and sang on 5 of them. Wow, he's talented. Richard, mate. The opening and concluding tracks were sung by both siblings in unison. As well as drumming, Karen played bass guitar on 2 songs, All of My Life and Eve, under Osborne's guidance. On All I Can Do, she played in 5/4 time, while You Wonderful Parade featured multiple snare and bass drum overdubs to emulate the sound of the marching band. The track Ticket to Ride, a Beatles covering song that later became the album title track, was released as the Carpenters' first single and reached number 54 on the Billboard Hot 100. Their next album, 1970s, Close to You, featured 2 hit singles, They Long to Be, Close to You, and We've Only Just Begun. They peaked #1, mate.
Wow. And we've done
And #2, respectively, on the Hot 100s.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. We've done Karen Carpenter's We've Just Begun. So we're gonna give a video of this. So it should be before this, shouldn't it? But we'll check it out anyway. We've done an amazing video and we've blown away.
Yeah, we'll put that up in a separate video.
Yeah.
We'll put
I know we are.
Flashback.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So we've done that video and we was just blown away, and that was the first time we've heard them. And
Yeah,
it was just,
amazing, mate.
it was so sad to know that she's not longer with us.
Yeah. Because she was just 5 feet 4 inches, 1.63 meters tall, it was difficult for people in the audience to see Karen behind her kit. Why was the kit that big?
Wow.
After reviews complained that the group had no focal point in live shows, Richard and the manager, Sherwin Bash, persuaded her to stand at the microphone to sing the band's hit while another musician played the drums. Former Disney musketeer Kobe O'Brien, Kobe it is, served as the band's other drummer for many years. She initially struggled in live performance, singing solo as she felt more secure behind the drum kit. After the release of Now and Then in 1973, the albums tended to have Carpenter singing more and drumming less, and she did become the focal point of all records and live performance. Bash said she was the one that people watch, starting with Carpenter's 1976 concert tour and continuing thereafter. She would perform a showcase in which she moved around the stage playing various configurations of drums. A studio performance benefited from close miking, the capture the nuances of her voice well. Though she had 3-octave range, many of her duo hits prominently featured her lower contralto singing, leading her to quilt the Money in the Basement.
Wow.
Money in the Basement.
What I was gonna say, she was, you know what was a big problem? Like, obviously she was insecure about herself. Was like she didn't want to go front of the public. She wasn't so comfortable.
She weren't confident in,
Yeah.
you know, like probably like a lot of people just watching it.
Yeah.
And you know, like trying to perform.
Yeah, just imagine like thousand people, and you're on stage with a mic and everyone's watching you. Obviously, because she was doing the drums for a bit, wasn't she?
That's what I mean, like.
And she felt so comfortable there.
Lad, it's not easy, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like.
Sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone though as well, innit? And this is what happened to her, and she probably didn't like it.
That's what I mean, lad. But it's hard. People don't know how hard it is. You know, but.
We can say that now, what? It's one of them, innit?
It's one of them, lad, innit? You get me?
Yeah.
So where are we? Alright. Carpenter always considered herself a drummer who sang. She performed Ludwig drums, including the Ludwig super sensitive snare, which she favoured greatly. However, she did not drum on every Carpenter recordings. She was the only featured drummer on Ticket to Ride and on Now and Then, except for Jambalaya. According to Hal Blaine, Karen played on many of the album cuts, and he played on most of the Carpenter studio sessions when she did not play drums herself. But Karen was informed about Blaine's involvement, and she approved on the basis that she and Richard wanted hit singles. The duo were happy for Blaine to take the role in the studio, as he was a respected session musician, and it was earlier to record Carpenter's guide vocal without it spilling onto the drum mics. Blaine complimented Karen's drumming skill, but believed her greatest strength was as a vocalist, and thought himself more adept at working in a recording studio. which required a different approach from that on the stage performance. On Made in America, Karen provided precise percussion on Those Good Old Dreams in tandem with Pauline Ho, the Casto, and played drums on the song When It's Gone. It's Just Gone in unison with Larry Loudon. Yeah, Larry Loudon. In the mid-1970s, Richard Carpenter developed an addiction to qualities. The Carpenters frequently cancelled tour dates and they stopped touring all through after their September 4th, 1978 concert at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. In 1980, Karen performed a medley of standards in duet with Ella Fitzgerald on the Carpenters television program Music. In 1981, after release of the Made in America album, which turned out to be their last. The Carpenters returned to the stage and went on some promotional tours, including an appearance for the BBC programme Nationwide. Now was the last song Carpenter recorded in April 1982. Though Richard was concerned about her health, he still thought her voice was sounded as good as ever.
Wow. So he was concerned about it, but back then, isn't it?
Yeah, they went through loads, lad, you know what I mean? She went through loads.
It just gives you goosebumps knowing that was her last time.
It is, lad. And there's a picture on the right, a promotional photograph of Carpenter from 1973. Look at the smile, mate. Isn't it beautiful? Do you know what I mean? So his solo career, Karen Carpenter's. Carpenter released their first solo record, Looking for Love, I'll Be Yours, in 1967 on Osborne's Magic Lamp label. Only 500 copies was pressed and the label folded shortly after. Wow, that's mad, that, mate. In 1979, while Richard took a year off to treat his addiction, Karen made a solo album with producer Phil Ramone. The session produced music that was different from the usual Carpenter's material, tending more towards disco and up-tempo numbers, with more mature lyrics and taking full advantage of Karen's upper vocal register. The album met with a tepid response from Richard and A&M executives in the early 1980s and was shelved by A&M Records. Why they shelved the lad? Co-owner Herb Alpert, in spite of attempts by producer Quincy Jones to convince him to release the solo record after a remix. A&M subsequently charged Carpenter $400,000 to cover the cost of recording her unreleased album, to be paid out of the duo's future royalties. A portion of the solo album was commercially released in 1989 when some of the tracks as remixed by Richard, which included on the album Loveliness, the final album, previously unreleased material from the Carpenters in 1996. The complete solo album titled Karen Carpenter was finally released. Wow. They shelved it, they charged it, and everything.
She got bossed.
That's sad. No wonder it didn't come out.
Yeah, 400,000 quid.
Yeah, no wonder it come out like years later after she passed away.
Well, it makes sense now.
That's a sad, time, like, you get me, fighting and putting all that time into, like a project. Do you know what I mean? And
That
she had
must be-
all complications trying to put it out. With the, do you know, like labels and all that, then they put it out when she passed away.
So sometimes it is that though, it's a record, like the managers and stuff, they mess around and then that you're, what is it called, you go through depression and everything, like anxiety.
Yeah, but
they're trying to get something and they work so hard for it.
And people are stopping it. Do you know, like putting the body of work that you put your heart and soul into.
Many of ours.
And it's sad they released it after a few years. She passed away. At least, you know, like, and the fans got, you know, but she didn't get what she wanted to get. Do you know what I mean? Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.